What is up, folks? My name is Stephen, and today we're learning how you can get paid being a content creator. Now, full disclosure before we begin. This isn't a 5 simple tips you can do to get paid as a content creator video. No, this video is literally about invoicing and how you can go about sending professional invoices from day one. If you want to skip all of this video and just buy the invoice template from my website for the price of a cup of coffee, inflation, am I right? I will of course leave the link in the description of this video, and while you're down there, why not give a sub to the channel and the old thumbs up to let YouTube know that you like to make money. So firstly, what is an invoice and why is it important? Now, in short, it's a document that maintains a record of transaction between a buyer and a seller. Kind of like a paper receipt from a store or shop. They are pretty important when it comes to accounting and audits. Basically, you send an invoice saying how much money you want, and someone pays you that money for your work. Hopefully. Now, you can get paid by sending an invoice by itself, but they do tend to work best when paired with a solid contract. So if you want a video about contracts as a content creator, then let me know in the comments down below. However, if you haven't got a contract, there are a few things you need to know regardless. A lot of companies will try to enforce a thing called net 30. I hate net 30. Net 30 means that the client has 30 calendar days to pay you, regardless of when the goods or services were delivered. Now, the 30-day period includes weekends and bank holidays. This means you're providing the client with a line of credit, as the goods or services are already delivered before payment is actually due, which can end up causing some major headaches. So, what actually goes into an invoice? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is an invoice. And if you don't want to go out and make one for yourself, I do have a template for sale on my website for $3, which I'll link in the description of this video, so you can go grab it and follow along as I fill it in. Firstly, we need to show who is sending the invoice. This means putting your name and contact details. Then you obviously want to make sure that you have the contact details of the client who is receiving the invoice. After that, a really useful thing to make sure you add is an invoice number. This is used to keep track of individual invoices, so if there's any issue, you can refer to them easily. Now, if you've never included an invoice number, I recommend just doing your initials and then adding a number starting on 1. Don't reset this number ever, as it can get very confusing when you're working with clients over multiple years. The next thing you need to do is include the date you're sending it on. If you have a net 30 agreement, the 30-day countdown begins from this date, so make sure to include it. If you have a different agreement outlining when the invoice is due, then put the due date on the invoice as well. Now, we also want to give a breakdown of the services, just here. This can also be itemized if you're charging different services to make a lump sum, or even just show that you're offering a discount. One of the most important things we want to make sure we add is the total amount owed, for obvious reasons. Also, payment details, your bank info or check information, basically outline how you want to get paid. Once you have those bits done, you are good to go. And a quick tip for all of you out there, when you're saving the document, save it and send it as a PDF, and name the file with your invoice number and client title. This can make it really easy to keep track of all your invoices down the line. And finally, you'll notice this section right here. This is a section that lets you protect yourself. So remember when we were talking about net 30 and how it effectively means you're extending a line of credit to your client? Well, what happens when your client doesn't pay on time, past net 30? What can you actually do about it? Legally speaking, you are entitled to charge late fees. Now, late fees can be a real pain in the ass to chase. I cannot count the amount of times companies have just ignored my demands for late fees or fed me some bullshit line about processing delays. They take a hell of a lot of energy to enforce, so pursue them at the detriment of your own mental health. However, that being said, you can outline the penalties they can expect to pay at the bottom of your invoice, which can at the very least be a deterrent. Now, unfortunately, you can't charge any old rate on late fees, as this goes into some sketchy loan shark stuff, so make sure and check the legal maximum percentage you can charge in your own country. A word of advice, I would always try and get a percentage of an overall fee paid up front before starting the work, as well as hold off sending any final deliverables until the final amount is in your account. If your client needs to review the work before sign off, then slap a big old watermark on the photo or footage and don't release anything until you see the money in your account. So there you have it, folks, a deep dive into invoicing. Is it the most interesting thing in the world? Absolutely not. But it is necessary if you want to start building your business as a content creator. Now, before we say our goodbyes, we need to one last time make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, as I'll be posting other tutorials, gear reviews, and tips to survive in the content creation world, which you definitely don't want to miss. Also, if you have ideas for videos you'd like to see in the future, then let me know in the comments down below. That's all from me. So, yeah. I never know how to end these things. Bye.